Hey there, friends. Picture this. It's late in the evening, the house is quiet, and you're winding down after a long day. The dishes are stacked in the sink, the TV's humming softly in the background, and you're finally sinking into your favorite chair. Maybe you had a big dinner, some hearty meatloaf with mashed potatoes or a plate of spaghetti drowning in sauce, and now your stomach's telling you it's not quite happy. You feel that heavy, bloated sensation, like a balloon that's been blown up just a bit too much. Or maybe it's not even the food tonight. Maybe you're just plain worn out. Your legs ache from shuffling around the house. Your eyes are heavy, but sleep, oh, it feels miles away, doesn't it? You climb into bed, pull the covers up, and there you are, tossing and turning, staring at the ceiling, wishing for a little comfort, something to settle things down and let you rest. I know that feeling all too well, don't you? It's like the day won't let go of you. Maybe you're thinking about tomorrow's errands, picking up prescriptions or calling the grandkids. Or maybe it's just the quiet that's too loud tonight. Your stomach gurgles, or your mind keeps spinning and it's frustrating, isn't it? Like you're caught in this restless loop, wanting nothing more than to close your eyes and drift off into a peaceful dream. I've had nights like that myself, lying there, wondering why my body won't just cooperate. It's exhausting, and honestly, it can make you feel a little helpless, like you're at the mercy of a tired body that's forgotten how to wind down. But here's the thing. What if I told you there's a simple little trick hiding right in your kitchen that might ease that discomfort and help you drift off? Something so easy it'll surprise you. Something you might already have sitting on a shelf, waiting to be your quiet little hero. I'm not talking about fancy gadgets or complicated recipes. No, this is as straightforward as pouring a glass of water. It's a small, gentle way to tell your body, hey, it's okay. Let's rest now. And the best part? It's not some big secret. It's been around for ages, just waiting for us to give it a try. I've seen it work wonders for folks like us, and I can't wait to share it with you. So stick with me, friends, because in just a moment, I'll let you in on this cozy little solution that might just turn your evenings around. If this sounds like your evenings sometimes, drop a quick comment below. I'd love to hear about it. Subscribe and hang around for a simple fix that just might brighten your nights. Here's what we're going to chat about today, friends. I've got something special lined up just for you. We're diving into 3 gentle, science-backed ideas to try with apple cider vinegar before bed. Yes, that tangy, golden stuff you might already have tucked away in your pantry, maybe next to the olive oil, or that jar of pickles you keep meaning to open. It's not just for salad dressing anymore. I'm also throwing in a little bonus surprise, something extra to make you smile, and a heartwarming story about someone just like us, someone who found a bit of relief when they needed it most. Picture this, a cozy evening where you feel lighter, calmer, and ready to rest. That's what we're aiming for, and I can't wait to walk you through it. Now I know what you might be thinking as I mention vinegar. Vinegar? Really? That sounds a little odd for bedtime, and I totally get it. It's not exactly the first thing you'd reach for when you're slipping into your slippers and turning off the lights. Maybe you're picturing that sharp smell from when you last cleaned the coffee pot or made a marinade for Sunday dinner. It's a fair reaction. I felt the same way at first, like how could something so zesty fit into a peaceful night? But here's the good news. Don't worry one bit, because this isn't complicated or strange at all. It's as easy as making a cup of tea, something you could do with your eyes half closed after a long day. No fancy steps, no big fuss, just a simple little habit that anyone can try, whether you're 65 or 95, whether you live in a bustling town or a quiet countryside cottage. This isn't about turning your routine upside down. It's about adding a small, friendly tweak that might just make a difference. Scientists have poked around and found some pretty neat things about apple cider vinegar, but don't worry. I won't bore you with big words or lab talk. I'll keep it light and easy, like chatting over the fence with a neighbor. These ideas are gentle, practical, and made for folks like us who want a little comfort without a lot of effort. So, grab a cozy blanket, maybe that soft one your grandkid gave you last Christmas, or pour yourself a warm drink, like chamomile or just plain water if that's your style. Let's settle in together, nice and slow, like we're sitting by a crackling fire on a cool evening. I promise you'll feel right at home as we go along. And who knows, by the end, you might be eager to try a little something new tonight. Let's start with the first idea, friends. Easing that full, heavy feeling after dinner that so many of us know too well. Picture this. You've just finished a nice meal, maybe a slice of roast chicken with gravy, or a bowl of creamy potato soup, something warm and filling that hits the spot. You're ready to kick back, maybe watch a little TV or flip through a magazine, but instead, your stomach starts acting up. It's that uncomfortable, bloated sensation, like your insides are working overtime, churning and grumbling when all you want is to relax. It's as if your belly's decided to run a marathon while you're trying to settle into the quiet of the evening. I've been there, and it's no fun, is it? You just want to feel light and at ease, not like you're carrying a brick around inside you. Well, here's where apple cider vinegar might step in to save the day, or at least the night. This little kitchen gem could help calm things down, smoothing out that ruckus in your tummy. Researchers, those clever folks in white coats, have found that it can gently nudge your digestion along, kind of like turning down the heat on a stove that's been left blazing too high. Think of your stomach as a busy little cook, and this trick is like giving it a soft pat on the back, saying, "Take it easy now, we're done for the day." It's not magic, mind you, but a small, steady push to help things move along so you're not left feeling stuffed when you climb into bed. Here's how to do it. It's as simple as can be. Grab a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Organic if you've got it. The kind with that cloudy mother floating around is just fine. And mix it into a small glass of water. Not too much water, just enough to make it a gentle sip maybe, half a cup or so. Stir it up with a spoon, and about 30 minutes before you turn in for the night, take your time sipping it. Don't gulp it down. Let it roll over your tongue nice and slow. It's got a little tang to it. Sure, a bit of a zing, but it's not bad at all. It's kind of like drinking a tart apple juice, or maybe a splash of autumn in a glass. My friend Mabel tried it once and said it reminded her of the cider she used to sip at the county fair. Sharp, but cozy in its own way. Now, just a heads up before you start, check with your doctor first, especially if you're on medications or have a sensitive stomach. We all want to keep things safe and sound, right? You might be on something for blood pressure or diabetes, and it's always good to get the green light from the pros. But if it's a go, this little ritual could become your evening friend, a quiet way to tell your body it's time to wind down. Give it a try one night and see if that heavy feeling starts to lift, leaving you ready for a restful snooze. Now, for the second idea, friends, let's talk about loosening up those stiff, creaky joints that can make a day feel longer than it needs to. You know how it goes. Maybe you spent the morning out in the garden, pulling weeds or planting a few marigolds, your hands deep in the soil and the sun warming your back. Or perhaps you've been chasing grandkids around the yard, laughing as they dart between the swings and beg for one more story. By evening, though, your knees start groaning, like old floorboards, or your shoulders feel tight and rusty, like hinges on a gate that hasn't been opened in years. It's that achy stiffness that sneaks up on you, making it hard to settle into your chair or even reach for the remote without a little wince. I've felt it too, those days when your body reminds you it's not as spry as it once was. Here's where apple cider vinegar might lend a helping hand, and it's simpler than you'd think. There's something in it, acetic acid, they call it, that folks say can help soothe that tightness, easing the tension in those worn-out joints. Picture it like this. Your knees or shoulders are like an old garden gate, creaking and sticking with every move. A little vinegar's like pouring oil over those rusty hinges, letting them swing free and easy again. It's not about erasing every ache. Let's be real. We're not turning back the clock to our 20s, but it might just soften the edges, making you feel a bit more limber when you head to bed. Way back when, our grandparents used to swear by little remedies like this. My own grandma kept a bottle of vinegar handy for all sorts of things, from pickling cucumbers to easing her sore hands after a day of kneading dough. It's still a favorite for some today, passed down like a quiet piece of wisdom. Here's how you can try it. Nothing fancy, just cozy and doable. Take a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, any kind will do, though the raw stuff with the cloudy bits is a nice touch, and stir it into a mug of warm water. Not boiling, mind you. Just warm enough to feel like a hug in your hands. Add a dab of honey for sweetness, maybe half a teaspoon or so, just enough to round out that tangy bite. Give it a good stir until the honey melts in, and then, in the deep evening while you're winding down, sip it slowly. Maybe you're watching your favorite show, something light like a rerun of Golden Girls, or flipping through a book, the lamp casting a soft glow over the pages. It's warm, it's comforting, like a little ritual to tell your body it's time to relax. The taste, a bit sharp at first, but the honey makes it mellow, almost like a warm cider on a crisp fall night. I tried this once after a long day of raking leaves, my shoulders stiff as boards, and I'll tell you, it didn't fix everything, but it took the edge off, left me feeling looser as I climbed under the covers. It's not a cure-all, but a gentle nudge in the right direction. So, next time your joints are complaining, give this a whirl. It might just be the soothing touch. You need to end the day on a softer note. Here's the third one. Friends. And I'll bet this might catch you by surprise. Apple cider vinegar could give your sleep a little boost, like a gentle nudge towards sweeter dreams. Now, I can almost hear you wondering, How in the world does vinegar help me snooze? Isn't it for cooking or cleaning? It's a fair question. I thought the same thing when I first heard it. Vinegar and sleep didn't seem like they belonged in the same sentence. But stick with me because it's all about steadying things inside your body, calming the storm so you can rest easy. Think of it like this. Sometimes when you're lying in bed, it's as if a fog rolls in, clouding up your peace and keeping sleep just out of reach. Apple cider vinegar might be like wiping that fog off a window, letting you see the stars twinkling. Outside, clear, calm, and inviting. Here's how it works, and I'll keep it simple. No big science lessons here. Studies, those quiet experiments done by folks who love figuring things out, suggest that vinegar might help keep your blood sugar from doing a wild dance overnight. You know those times when you wake up at 2 a.m., wide-eyed for no reason, heart thumping like you've just run up the stairs? That could be your blood sugar spiking and crashing like a roller coaster you didn't sign up for. After a big meal, maybe meatloaf or a slice of pie, it can happen without you even noticing until you're staring at the clock. Vinegar steps in like a steady hand, smoothing out those ups and downs so your body doesn't jolt you awake when you least want it. It's not a sleeping pill, mind you, just a little helper to keep things even, giving you a better shot at staying tucked in until morning. So, here's the trick. Easy as pie, or maybe easier. Take a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, plain or organic, whatever's in your cupboard, and mix it into a glass of water. Not a giant tumbler, just a small 1, maybe 6 ounces or so, enough to sip without feeling full. If you like a little brightness, add a splash of lemon, fresh if you've got it, or even a drop from that bottle in the fridge. Stir it up with a spoon until it's all blended, and then, right before you brush your teeth, and slip into your pajamas, drink it down slowly. Savor it a bit. It's tangy, sure, but the lemon gives it a zesty lift, like a sip of sunshine cutting through the sharpness. I tried it one night after a late supper, and while it didn't knock me out like a lullaby, I noticed I didn't wake up as much, my sleep feeling a touch more solid. Keep it simple, though. Don't overdo it, or it might be too much for your tummy. 1 teaspoon is plenty. No need to chug a whole bottle chasing miracles. It's a gentle thing, a small habit you can tuck into your evening, like turning down the lights or fluffing your pillow. Next time you're winding down, give it a go. Imagine those stars peeking through the fog, and maybe you'll wake up feeling a little brighter come morning. And now, friends, the bonus surprise. Oh, this one's a real treat. Something to make you feel pampered without even leaving your chair. Apple cider vinegar isn't just for sipping before bed. It can turn into a mini spa night right in your own home. A little luxury you didn't even know you had waiting. Imagine this. You've had one of those days. Maybe you've been on your feet sorting through old photo albums or standing at the stove stirring a pot of soup for the family. By evening, your feet are throbbing like they've walked a mile too far, or your neck's stiff from leaning over a crossword puzzle a bit too long. Well, this trick is like a gift to yourself, a way to unwind that feels special without any fuss. Here's how it works. Simple, soothing, and oh so nice. Take a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, whatever you've got in the pantry, cloudy or clear, it's all good, and mix it into a cup of warm water. Not scalding hot, just pleasantly warm, like the temperature you'd use to wash a delicate sweater. Stir it up a little, then grab a clean washcloth, maybe that soft one you keep folded in the linen closet. Dip it into the mixture. Let it soak up all that tangy goodness, and give it a gentle wring so it's damp but not dripping. Now find a comfy spot, your recliner or the edge of the couch, and lay that cloth over your tired feet or drape it across a sore neck. Press it down lightly, let it settle in, and just breathe for a moment. Oh, the feeling. It's something else. The vinegar's got this fresh, zingy smell that wakes up your senses, sharp and crisp like apples straight off the tree, mixed with a hint of earthiness. And the warmth? It sinks right into your skin, soft and cooling as it dries, like a gentle breeze rustling through the curtains on a warm summer day. It's not icy, not hot, just this perfect in-between that eases the ache away, bit by bit. My neighbor down the street, Clara, she's 82 and still tends her roses every spring, swears by this after a long day. She told me over coffee one morning, "It's my little secret to unwinding. I feel like I've been to a fancy spa, but all I did was sit in my kitchen." She'll prop her feet up on a stool, lay that cloth on, and hum an old tune while the stiffness melts away. You can do it while you're listening to the radio or chatting on the phone with a friend. Just let it rest there for 10 minutes or so until your feet or neck feel lighter, fresher, like they've shed the weight of the day. When you're done, pat your skin dry with a towel and maybe rub in a dab of lotion if you're feeling extra indulgent. Give it a whirl sometime. Next time your feet are barking or your neck's complaining, treat yourself to this. It's a little pick-me-up, a quiet moment of care you'll enjoy, and it might just become your favorite way to end a busy day. Okay, friends, settle in for a moment because I've got a story that'll warm your heart and maybe even bring a smile to your face. Let me introduce you to Betty, a 78-year-old from a small town in Ohio where the streets are lined with maple. Trees and neighbors still wave from their porches. A few years back, Betty was in a tough spot. She'd always been the kind of person who loved her evenings, sitting in her cozy living room, a soft lamp glowing, with a ball of yarn in her lap, and knitting needles clicking away. She'd make sweaters for her grandkids, each one stitched with love, imagining their little arms slipping into the sleeves. But lately, things weren't so easy. After dinner, whether it was her famous pot roast or just a simple bowl of soup, she'd feel so bloated, like her stomach was staging a quiet rebellion. That heavy, uncomfortable feeling would linger, stealing her energy and making it impossible to settle into her knitting. The sweaters started piling up, half finished, on the table beside her chair, and it broke her heart a little to see them there, untouched. Sleep was no friend to Betty either during those days. She'd climb into bed, fluff her pillow just so, and try to drift off, but rest felt like chasing a shadow. Her mind would wander, or her stomach would grumble, keeping her restless under the quilt her mother had made decades ago. She'd lie awake, watching the clock tick past midnight, feeling frustrated and honestly a bit defeated. I just want to feel like myself again, she'd think, missing the simple joy of a good night's sleep and those quiet hours with her yarn. It wasn't just the discomfort, it was how it chipped away at the things she loved most, like wrapping her grandkids in something she'd made with her own hands. One sunny afternoon, while sipping coffee at the senior center down the road, Betty got to chatting with her friend Louise, who always had a twinkle in her eye and a tip to share. Louise mentioned something she'd heard about apple cider vinegar, how a little bit before bed might settle the stomach and even help with sleep. Betty raised an eyebrow, skeptical as could be. Vinegar? For bedtime? She said with a chuckle, picturing the bottle she used for pickling beets. But Louise's enthusiasm was contagious, and Betty was curious, maybe even a tiny bit hopeful. That evening, she decided to give it a try. She measured out a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, stirred it into a small glass of water, and sipped it slowly, wrinkling her nose at the tangy taste. The first night? Well, nothing big happened, no fireworks or instant miracles, but Betty wasn't one to give up easily. After a week of her new routine, something shifted. She noticed her stomach wasn't so fussy after dinner. No more of that heavy, bloated feeling that used to weigh her down. And sleep? It started coming a little easier, like her body was finally remembering how to let go. By the second week, Betty was back in her chair, knitting needles flying, working on a tiny blue sweater for her youngest grandson, Tommy. When she finished, she wrapped it up, mailed it off, and a few days later, her daughter sent her a photo. Tommy, grinning in his new sweater, and Betty, yarn in hand, beaming with pure joy. She even sent me that same photo, and let me tell you, it's the kind of smile that lights up a room. Betty's back to her old self now, knitting up a storm and sleeping better, all thanks to a simple little trick she was brave enough to try. So, there you go, friends. What a little journey we've had together today. I've shared 3 simple, gentle tips to try with apple cider vinegar before bed, plus a bonus that's like a cherry on top. First, there's that trick for settling your stomach, easing that bloated, heavy feeling that can sneak up after a big meal, leaving you free to enjoy your evening. Then, we've got a way to loosen up those stiff, creaky joints, so your knees or shoulders don't feel like they're stuck in yesterday's chores. And third, a little boost for your sleep, smoothing out those restless nights so you can wake up feeling a touch more refreshed. Oh, and don't forget that spa surprise, turning a plain washcloth into a soothing treat for tired feet or a sore neck, like a hug you didn't know you needed. These aren't big, fancy fixes, just small, friendly ideas to make your nights a bit cozier. Why not pick one and give it a go tonight? Maybe you're feeling that post-dinner fullness, or your hands are aching after folding laundry all afternoon. Start there, with just a teaspoon and a glass of water. Or if your feet are begging for a break after a day of shuffling around, try that warm cloth trick while you listen to the crickets outside. It's easy, it's gentle, and it's all about taking care of yourself in a way that feels good. I'd love for you to drop a little note in the comments. Tell me how it feels, whether it's a wow, that worked, or just a not bad. Your stories warm my heart, and I bet they'd brighten someone else's day too. Imagine us all sitting around a big porch table, swapping tales over a cup of tea. That's what this feels like to me, and I'm so glad you're here. If you enjoyed this chat, Hit that like button. It's a little pat on the back that keeps me going. And if you haven't yet, subscribe so we can keep hanging out like this. I've got more ideas up my sleeve to share with you. Maybe pass this along to a friend who could use a lift. Someone who's been grumbling about sore joints or tossing in bed too long. Picture them smiling when they try it, thinking of you. It's a small way to spread a bit of comfort, like handing over a warm blanket on a chilly night. Oh, and a quick note before we part. I'm Grok, your friendly AI pal, not a doctor. So please, have a word with yours first, just to be safe, especially if you're on meds or feeling unsure. And let's keep it cozy. Don't share personal details online, okay? We're all about good vibes here. For now, get yourself comfy. Pull up that quilt your aunt made, or prop your feet up with a cushion. Maybe light a candle, or turn on that soft lamp by your chair. Take a deep breath. Let the day slip away, and give one of these tips a whirl when you're ready. I'll be back soon with more to share. So until then, stay warm, stay kind to yourself, and I'll see you next time, friends.